Sneemaster!
Hey everyone, Sneemaster here. I'm just going to do a brief review of the Consolidated Outlands Nomad and how to do quantum travel and a little bit of landing and stuff like that. So the Nomad is pretty much like a pickup truck in space. It's got cargo that's open to the back. You can see we're going to open it up back over here. And you can also put a vehicle in there if you prefer instead. You can put loose cargo, commodity cargo, pretty much anything. They have magnetic plates for cargo so they don't fly off. They are sort of exposed, so you'll have to watch out for that. It's got hover landing gear. Even when it's turned off, it always hovers. It's got 3 size 2 guns on gimbals. You can actually set them to size 3 fixed if you wanted to. And it has 8 size 2 Strike Force 2 missiles. And you can change those to other size 2 missiles if you want. The door entranceway is on the left side. It's pretty cozy in here. You can actually lift the cargo also from the back if you click the button there. Lift it or drop it from the inside. There's a little component bay here on the various ship components you can change out. There is actually a little bathroom here. Just a toilet and a sink. There may be a shower, but it doesn't function yet. You can actually sit on the toilet seat, so I'll show you. On this other side, there is a small little personal storage thing, like a small box or clothing or things like that. There's an internal door here that leads to the living area, so there's a small bed you can log out from or sit down on. There is also a sink and 2 little hot plates that are built in right there. Has a little table, has a little microwave type thing for warming up stuff, and it's got a little pull-out bench that you can sit on if you want. Apparently this person liked to work out a lot. It's got lots of workout food. Here's the cockpit here. Just has a single seat. Now this ship has excellent visibility from the inside. You have excellent view from forward, left, right, up, down. Landing is excellent with this vehicle. Now it also has MFD displays that go all the way left to right, so it's got all your displays there, even buttons that you'll be able to press later on once they activate them. And the comm system is there, so you can talk to somebody directly without having to open up your mobi-glass. Now, turning on the engines and everything, if you press the R key, you can turn on the entire system. That'll turn on engines, power, everything. L is for lights, so that'll turn on your headlights. If you press spacebar, you'll lift up off the ground. Pressing N will toggle your landing gear up or down. Now this particular vehicle has 3 lasers, as I said, laser repeaters. They're size 2, so I'll show you them in just a second. Pressing C will put on the cruise control, so you'll automatically go at a speed that you can regulate. Pressing C again will turn it off. And you have the thrusters, which work with the WASD. Now these guns, they look fixed here, but you can actually set them to gimbal, so they'll actually follow your cursors around. So if you press the G key, that'll follow a target. Press it again and it'll just follow your mouse cursor instead. So anyway, the other purpose of this video is to show you quantum travel. So I'm going to show you how that works. First we're going to pop up the star map with the F2 key. apparently, after we fly around a little bit. And you can see the engines in the back here. Okay, so now we press F2 to bring up the star map. Now you can zoom in and out with the mouse wheel key. Here we're at Hurston L1 at this particular station. You can right-click twice and it'll zoom out all the way. Hold down mouse and right-click and you can pan. Hold down left-click and move the mouse and it'll tilt the view. Press that button on the top right and it'll zoom in on your location and center it on your location. Now, centering the cursor is important. How you zoom in and out depends on where you're centered on, where your mouse cursor is when you're zooming in and out. So right now we're going to try to go, if you notice we're clicking on Hurston here, and if we wanted to go to Hurston we could just left click and then do set route, but in this case we're going to Magda, so we're going to choose set route, and that'll lock in the location. And because we have nothing in our way, it's giving us a green line. So we'll travel to Hurston first and then to Magda in a two-step process. If you notice, there's a current fuel, required fuel, and the two different nav points. We're going to go to first Hurston, then Magda, and how much fuel they'll use. Then underneath is how many seconds it'll take to fly there. So with that, we're ready. Press F2 again. Press Tap P to bring up the quantum drive display. If you notice the arrow on the left, that's where we're going to go. It'll hide everything else aside from your target. You need to make sure the target is right in the center of your display, wherever the crosshair is. Make sure it's there. Make sure you're calibrated fully. Quantum drive spooling is complete. Hold down B and you will start moving. You have to hold down B maybe a couple seconds here, and then it immediately starts into the quantum travel. Now we're not going too far to Hurston, an even shorter distance to Magda. But if you notice, you can see the 1/2, that's what your step is on this nav point, and the distance to Hurston, which is decreasing fast as we're getting there. It also shows how much quantum fuel it takes. You can take a look and see. You can even get up out of your seat while quantum drive is going and walk around if you want. But in this case, it's such a short travel that I won't get out of this. The QF next to the number there, like 13, that's how much quantum fuel it's going to use to Hurston. If you notice, there's a few images in the background that seem to move. Those are moons and large objects. So you can actually follow them and see as you're going near the speed of light. Okay, so we got out here to Hurston. So we're going to turn the quantum drive back on with the B key to tap it. And if you notice the arrows on the right, and there's a target marked. So get it right in your center of the crosshairs. That's spool complete and calibrate complete, 100%. And then you're ready. Hold down the B for a few seconds and you will take off. This is an even shorter trip, and if you notice it says 2 out of 2, so this is the second leg of the trip. Now, you can also use quantum drive without having a fixed target with a star map. So if you just tap B, you'll notice all these different symbols out there. Some of those are actually ground targets. Some of those are planets or moons. Nav points like the OM numbers are just nav points you can go to if you want. In this case, we're going to go to this location. We're going to aim up, calibrate, and once we're fully calibrated and spooled, we hold down B and it'll do a quick quantum jump. But you can even use this at very far away targets too. Now you need to make sure things are lined up. If you move off center like that, you'll lose the calibration. So you got to recalibrate, even if the engines are spooled. go. We're going to go into a quick spline jump to the ground target. I always love this view. Alright, so now it always puts you about 20 kilometers away from the target. So you can tap the B to see where the target is, even if you can't see it visually yet. So it'll give you an idea of how far away it is, where it's located, things like that. You can hold down F and move the mouse wheel to zoom in and out your view, so you can see things from farther away. And if you notice, the Nomad has excellent visibility down below. That's why I like flying the ship. It's good for all-around, all-purpose stuff. It does have 3 small shields on top of all the missiles, weapons. It's pretty much like an Avenger Titan, but with external cargo, more space, more features, and more shields. It's just not as maneuverable as a Titan. So anyway, we're going to be coming into land on this ground location, this hab point. So I'm going to show you how that works. See if you notice we're getting closer. So I keep on pressing tab every once in a while just to give them an idea where it is. But if you notice the quantum drive does make a bit of noise when you turn it on and off. So sometimes I don't turn it on just for the noise of it. Altitude is on the right side. We're about 500 meters, so we're pretty close to the ground. Speed of the Nomad on average is 178, which is about what the Avenger Titan is. So it's pretty fast. Faster than a Prospector. So if you notice, I turned off cruise control, and now I'm manually controlling the speed with the WASD keys. Putting out landing gear and trying to land on the landing pad. Now these hab points don't require landing clearance, not like the big space stations do or big cities. If you notice, sometimes you get a proximity warning light. You can press I to turn on and off engines separately. You can press U to turn off all power and everything, and R to turn everything back on.
Your journey begins now.
Normally when I'm leaving a ship, I turn off the engines at least, even if I leave the power running, just in case it doesn't fly away with the wind, or it keeps the shields running too in case someone shoots at you. Now I'm getting out of the seat, so you hold down the Y key for a few seconds and it'll get you out of the seat. We're looking around. Magda is always pretty windy. And we're just gonna log out from the bed. So we're gonna sit down on the bed. And then what you have to do is hold down the F key again and look for the logout button, which will be on the left side sometimes. And then that'll shut down the game and everything else.